Howdy folks, it's Zach and welcome back to my gaming channel, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about SWTOR patch 5.XXX. We're not really sure when this is coming out, but mainly this is about the SWTOR roadmap announcement that the developers have given us this last week. So why do I want to talk about this? Well, there's two major things. There was two things that the developers gave us, and I think both of them bear a lot of closer scrutiny, okay? I also want to make a comparison today, a little bit about announcement making. So, first up, let's talk about what they have told us. So, the first big negative thing I want to mention is that what we have heard from the developers is this, that the roadmap we were supposed to get at the end of January has been delayed till mid-February. This is not a good sign, and I'll tell you why. This is what we've seen now constantly with the roadmaps, is that last year the developers said they were going to start doing more roadmaps, and the roadmap's purpose was to let players know what's coming up so they could be excited about it. And instead, what it's done is show us how delayed everything is at BioWare. Case in point, how long has it taken to go ahead and get this full raid together? We're at boss number 3 thanks to patch 5.7, but we still haven't finished that entire raid yet. We've gotten a few companions such as Corso and Risha and Andronicus in this last patch in 5.7, but as you saw in my last video, that whole mission maybe takes 7 minutes tops. It's not really a whole lot of like bursting new content for a content patch. So, in the announcement that they said for January, to get our appetites wet for the roadmap in February, they let us know that this year they're going to have Jason and Kira come back as companions, which that's actually kind of a big deal. Roadmap will be coming in February. The solo ranked cross-faction is on their radar, and that there's an origin deal going on right now. And then the last bullet point they had was about the roadmap again. So this isn't really a lot of information, and guys, I'm going to tell you, this is something to be really kind of upset about. Why? Well, they're not giving us a lot of information, and when it comes to being accountable for what it is that you're making, what we're basically being told is, hey, there's stuff coming. But we're not going to give you concrete deadlines. We're not going to tell you about that content. We're just going to say we are doing it. And this leaves a lot of question marks, and this is not a good thing. So, this is the year of returning companions, Jason and Kira. Okay, so Jason is one of the most complex characters in the game, because you can actually choose her alignment. Will she be light side, will she be dark side? And from there, you can choose whether to romance her or not. If you went light side, you can't. If you went dark side, you can. If you are a light side Sith warrior or a dark side Sith warrior, those interactions are going to look pretty different. So Jason necessitates a very complex story. Kira, on the other hand, she's a lot more straightforward, but as the Jedi Knight's companion, who is, I know a lot of people want to disagree with me on this, but if you look at the entire course of Star Wars: The Old Republic, the Jedi Knight is the most canon class going into Knights of the Fallen Empire and Knights of the Eternal Throne. The antagonist for the entire Jedi Knight storyline is the same as the one that you have in the 2 expansions. That just lends itself to believing that he is the most canon of the characters. So Kira would probably work best in the main story, as part of the main stories. So if these two kind of get the same thing that Corso and Risha and Andronicus just got, I think we're all going to feel kind of gypped. That, oh, hey, they're great, we had a little cutscene, and yay. And that's it. And I honestly got the impression from the Andronicus and Risha romance options that, great, they're back, that's it. We're never going to do another cutscene with these characters again. They're in your fold, it's done. I never got the impression that there's a storyline that's going to continue between these two characters. And that is very saddening. Okay, now let me talk about these other 2 bullet points really quick. So in Jason and Kira, they just mentioned it's going to happen sometime this year. So sometime in 2018. That's awfully vague. When it comes to the solo ranked cross-faction, that's even more vague. This is the to work on pile. I used to teach in corporate America. One of the things that is very popular there is the Franklin Covey organizers, or the Franklin Covey system of organizing, which basically just takes everything on your job description and everything that you're doing and orders it in order of importance. A-list priorities, B-list priorities, C-list priorities, and then it also breaks it down into urgent and not urgent. Basically, the tasks that need to be taken care of today and the tasks that can be pushed forward along indefinitely. And what I'm getting the impression of is the to work on pile is indefinitely. There's nothing about that bullet point that says this is something that they're working on, this is urgent, that this is important, and that this is something that they want to complete. Because it's probably going to be a little difficult, and therefore it's just not really on the radar. So this is basically, hey guys, we're giving you guys the roadmap at the end of January. End of January comes. Hey guys, we're delaying that roadmap till February. Great. That's you're basically telling us that you can't meet your own deadlines on your own status reports and updates. That's a bad sign, guys. So Keith did leave a little bit of a message about this, and he just said, "Hey, this is about the live stream yesterday. We're busy working on an update to the roadmap, which should be available in mid-February. So we are delayed on the update to the report of our status that just came out." And to justify this, they say, well, hey, we just released Game Update 5.7, which had 2 short companion quests that lasted about 7.5 minutes apiece, and it did drop a 3rd raid boss. That's actually pretty good, but I'm going to address this in just a minute, so let's just put a pin in this. Now, the second paragraph is the one that's really frustrating. I'm not ready to discuss all the summer events beyond that we're planning, and I definitely will not provide any information on what's included in 6.0. Wink, wink. Now, I don't know if this is saying, hey, don't ask me questions about 6.0 because I don't know about 6.0, or 6.0 is planned and we just don't want to drop any spoilers. That's a little vague. This would be something that, if you want players to get excited, this would be a good way to do it. And instead, what you're doing is something very frustrating. Also, I would mention that at this point, it's a must-have piece of information. What kind of content are we getting? If you're mentioning you're bringing back companions, are they going to be tied to the main quest line, such as Kaleo? Are they going to be thrown in as kind of an afterthought of a flashpoint, like Ensign Temple? Are they going to be given a little short companion side mission, a la Risha and Corso? We kind of want to know, because if you're trying to say this is brand new content, but it's something that's very short, does this really justify our subscription fees that you were paying? Or if you're not paying subscription fees, but you are buying into the cartel market or spending cartel coins on anything else, you're a free-to-play player, this should concern you. Because, hey, where is our money going? That's a very legit concern. I know it's my concern. It's probably your concern too. Now let me compare this to Final Fantasy XIV. Alright, so here we have Final Fantasy XIV patch notes detail the Final Fantasy VI inspired raid. This isn't even an article released by the game developers. They released patch notes, and this is from usgamer.net. This is a big enough patch, by the way, which is patch 4.2 for Stormblood. This isn't a major expansion. This is a patch, a 0.2 patch. We're at 0.7 for Star Wars The Old Republic, patch 5.0 for the Eternal Throne. Okay, and so what's coming out in this? Well, let's look at this. We'll add new quests to the main scenario. And by the way, guys, that usually means something to the tune of 15 to 20 quests. These quests can be found on the new Continent Doma with supporting characters, and they're listing who these supporting characters are. And this is, by the way, the third-party article's review of said patch notes. The detailed patch notes are even more specific. And, oh, yeah, that's right. We're dropping an entire raid. Not a boss for a raid, an entire raid. This is only, by the way, the second major patch of Stormblood, which already had a full new continent, 2 new playable classes, and many, many, many main story quests. Not to mention what we would call flashpoints. This is the titanic difference between what other games are offering in their content patches and what Star Wars The Old Republic is offering right now in their content patches. This is unacceptable. Why am I saying this? Guys, I'm a huge fan of Star Wars: The Old Republic. I've been here since the beta. I love this game. But what the developers have been giving us is flat out unacceptable in comparison to the competition. Okay? By the way, the Final Fantasy VI inspired raid, let me tell you, that carries a heck of a lot of weight, because one of the first things that I got in Final Fantasy 14 when I was playing on it, on my very first character, you have to get all the way up into level 50, way through the main story quests, but you'll get a Magitech mount. The same kind of mounts that were in the promotional artwork in Final Fantasy VI. And when you ride in said mount, it plays Tara Branford's theme from Final Fantasy VI, which was the overworld map theme. And it is glorious! It's my favorite mount because it's got this catchy tune that just recycles all over and over and over again as you ride around in this gigantic Magitech mount. It's really fun. And many of the raids and instances and flashpoints, when they take and pull from other Final Fantasy games, it's really cool to see. It is really, really fun. Now, if they did something like that in Star Wars: The Old Republic, I guarantee you we'd all be really excited about it. But they don't. They don't do anything close to that. What we're having right now is a stall. We can't they're trying to get us excited about, hey, here's when we will finally update you. Be excited about that. When we will finally tell you the update of what will eventually be coming. And there's constant delays for it. This, guys, is very unacceptable in the light of the competition. I just pulled up Final Fantasy XIV's article because I just bumped into this on Yahoo today. Do I ever see any article whatsoever on Yahoo, Google, that's being linked on somebody's social media about the updating content patch of SWTOR? No. I have to hunt down the information for SWTOR because there's nothing big enough to really warrant an article about it. That's the problem. Alright, so why am I saying all this? Well, this is kind of an indictment of the devs of Star Wars: The Old Republic. It's a game I truly love. I appreciated getting Risha and Corso back. I appreciated getting Andronicus back into the fold. I appreciated the work that they did on it. However, for what we pay, which is about the exact same amount that I would pay for Final Fantasy XIV, what are we getting? Much lower value. This is the problem. So guys, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think will be coming out in the SWTOR roadmap, or what it is you would like to see, and I will be point blank with you guys. Whatever they release in February has got to be big, because there is some major competition out there in other MMOs that, honestly, at this point, I think frankly are deserving of our money. Right now, Star Wars: The Old Republic, with their release schedule and their patch updates and their content updates, isn't justifying a subscription fee or your spare change. Not in comparison to Guild Wars 2, Final Fantasy XIV, or even World of Warcraft, which is also building up its next expansion ideas and is trying to rework their entire class system. And in their last expansion, also introduced new classes and new areas to explore. Even though it's an old game, I give them a lot of props for continually making a lot of new content when they drop it. So, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know what you think is going to come out in the next roadmap drop, or if you think it will just be delayed. And what would you like to see? Put those comments below. We'll send those over to the devs, and we will see you next time.